Thank you very much, and thank you very much, Mr. Tsisia, for those warm words, and also thank you for this university and for the fact that you host me here again. It is a real honor. And I also want to thank the ambassadors of Romania and of Norway for being our contact point embassies for NATO here in Japan. And by the way, I would like to recognize the presence of many ambassadors, including of the Netherlands, whom I know very well, but also so many others, and of course all the students and faculty present here. And again, organizing this event, thank you for that, all of you. It's very special. So, a good morning. And I know it's still early, and especially for students, getting out of bed early is not always easy, but you know, for me it's around 2 o'clock at night. Or let's say 2 o'clock in the morning right now. But I promise I'll stay wide awake, thanks to you. And I hope you are just as excited as I am to be here today. The last time I visited this university, Keio University, was indeed 9.5 years ago, as I was Prime Minister of the Netherlands, and I was in Japan to discuss the close economic ties between my country and yours. And this time I'm here as Secretary General of NATO, and I want to talk about the close partnership between NATO and Japan, and how important it is, especially right now in an increasingly dangerous world. Just last week, I had the honor to welcome Minister Takeshi Iwaya, the Foreign Minister of Japan, to NATO headquarters. And this is a meeting of NATO foreign ministers. Officials from NATO's other partners in the Indo-Pacific, Australia, New Zealand and South Korea were also at the table. And in recent years, Japan has attended 3 NATO summits and other high-level NATO meetings. I believe this is truly a testament to our deepening partnership, and I really appreciate it. It took me nearly 14 hours to fly from Amsterdam to Tokyo. That's far. We are on opposite sides of the globe, in different time zones. And yet, in many ways, NATO and Japan are very close. We share the same values, interests and concerns. And our security is clearly interlinked. What happens in the Indo-Pacific matters to Europe. And what happens in Europe matters to Japan and to this region. This is why we both support Ukraine, because it's where the fight for peace and freedom is taking place. Russia's war in Europe, yes, it's true, it is in Europe, but the conflict is truly global. With North Korean troops, Iranian drones, and Chinese technologies fueling Russia's brutality against Ukraine, and supporting Putin's attempts to crush freedom worldwide. After more than 3 years of war, there are efforts underway to stop the fighting. And that's very positive. We want the war to end. But above all, we need a peace that lasts. For this, Ukraine must remain strong so that Putin never again dares to attack. Not Ukraine and not anyone else. To remain strong, it needs our help. NATO allies provide 99% of military aid to Ukraine, including air defenses, tanks, drones and munitions. We also provide billions of euros to transform Ukrainian armed forces for the long term. Japan too is playing a part in providing non-lethal assistance to Ukraine. And I'm deeply grateful for your substantial contributions through NATO's comprehensive assistance package. Our continued support matters for Ukraine's defense and future and for global stability. The world is watching the war and its outcome very closely. China is certainly watching. If we allow Putin to use force to achieve his aims, it will not go unnoticed. It's Ukraine today, it could be East Asia tomorrow. In dangerous times, NATO and Japan are also both very focused on building stronger defenses. This is about spending more on defense and producing more defense capabilities. Not to provoke war, but to protect peace. For too long, many NATO allies neglected our armed forces. We closed down defense companies. We took peace for granted. But not anymore. Over the last decade, European allies and Canada added an extra 700 billion euros for defense. Last year alone, they increased defense spending by 20%. And they are committed to go further and faster. At the same time, we are rebuilding our defense industry on both sides of the Atlantic, ramping up production of critical capabilities for our collective security. On this, we are deepening cooperation with all our Indo-Pacific partners. Japan is also spending much more on defense. Just yesterday, I visited the Yokosuka naval base. I was on board of one of Japan's destroyers, a projection of great power. It was impressive to see Japan's maritime self-defense forces together with the United States 7th Fleet at the base. And I also visited Mitsubishi Electric, one of Japan's leading defense companies. Like companies across NATO countries, Mitsubishi needs to develop and deliver capabilities faster. And this is a real challenge, because we still rely on supply chain and raw materials from third countries that do not always share our values. We must eliminate harmful dependencies. The deteriorating security situation calls for us to do more, to produce more, and boost our resilience. That is exactly what NATO is doing, and what Japan is doing. Let's do it together. My last point in this introduction is on technology and innovation, another area where NATO and Japan are closely aligned, and where I believe we can cooperate even more to outpace and outcompete our competitors. Russia's war against Ukraine shed light on the incredible speed of innovation. Ukrainians put innovative software in its drones, and within weeks, Russians managed to neutralize it. So we must learn from the battlefield in Ukraine as we prepare for the future. And then there's China. It is rapidly developing technologies, integrating them into military capabilities, and connecting new technologies together, multiplying their potential disruptive impact on our societies, our economies, and on our security. Competition in this field is fierce. To maintain our military superiority and preserve our way of life, we need to innovate more, better, much, much faster, and together, NATO allies and Japan. This is something I will talk about in my meeting with Japanese dual-use startups later today. They work on drones, AI, space, and quantum. So do startups across NATO. By sharing our knowledge and innovation, we will not only stay ahead in the game, we will win it. I count on you, the students, the young, smart and creative people, to continue to lead this technological innovation, to preserve global stability now and in the future. I promised I'd stay awake. I very much am, full of energy, and I hope you are as well. So now, of course, comes the best part. You get to ask me questions, and we can have a conversation. And I very much look forward to it. Thank you so much. Arigato.